All right, so in the front, like, you have your goals and affirmations that you write out. That's my affirmations, kind of like your goals, and you break down your goals and like where you want to be, what you want to do, how do you want to achieve it. And then here it's like,
that thing looks cool, man. That's like already prefabricated.
Oh yeah,
like
it's nice. It's called the
templates.
Action Day Planner.
The Action
in case
Day
anyone
Planner.
wants to get it, I think it's like $30 from Amazon. Shout out to.
We need to get sponsored by these people.
Let me also shout out a couple more.
Go ahead.
Today's show is sponsored by you guys. Please support the show by whatever means feels right for you. You can support financially by following the PayPal link in the show notes. You can like and share the podcast page on Facebook and Twitter. And you can for sure subscribe and leave a review on iTunes to make sure you get the latest episodes fed right to your computer or smartphone. Thanks for your trust and continued support. Today on Generation Giants podcast, we talk with Michael Root, a rising senior at the School of the Arts in Charleston, South Carolina, a piano-playing, wakeboarding, big-time reader, and goal-setter extraordinaire. Let's go tune in.
So I'm writing down Killin It. Maybe we can talk about what that looks like. But you brought up camp.
Yeah, you want to go into that?
Yeah, well, I
right.
got to catch up with you on your summer camp experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, yeah, just go into that. So, our church does a summer camp.
Yeah. So let's
for
see.
students.
It was interesting because my mom was actually working there, volunteering as a nurse. So that kind of helped me a lot. So let's see. When did we get there? About Wednesday is when we came.
High school was Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday. So yeah, I drove up there because my mom needed a car to be up there. So I drove up there Thursday. Let me say, going down those roads coming into the camp was pretty fun in that car.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that. And so yeah, I got there Thursday, and I think we had like orientation, and maybe we did house wars, where we just kind of got like introduced to our houses and stuff like that. Which, for those of y'all who don't know, like the houses are like where we were staying. We called the houses, and I think there were 3-4 houses.
Yeah, 4 houses.
4 houses.
For like teams.
Yeah, which were like our teams basically, and so we had to get points to be the camp champion. Which I mean, I wish I could say that we won, but Mayhem.
Which team were you again?
We'll get it next year. We're in Mayhem.
You were on Mayhem.
Yeah.
And I was on Valor,
which was led by like Robbie, Michael, and a few other leaders.
Right, from James Island campus.
Yep, J.I. Shout out to James Island.
All right, hey, we're not doing shout outs yet.
Shout out to James Island.
No,
shout out to Robbie and Michael.
Oh my Lord.
Hey, they're getting extra shout out because they're just that cool.
You young people, just give shout outs whenever you want.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that night, I remember John Holmes' message was just on point. And I recently was reading about the law of the lid in John C. Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws.
Yeah.
So
and I'll interject. It's funny you brought it up because I brought one of my John Maxwell books to camp, and then I was gonna talk to the students about it. Yeah, look at you bringing your Today Matters book. So
hey, thanks for that. That was my Christmas gift.
Yeah. So I got that book for you for Christmas, whatever order I'm supposed to use words. And but I brought a different book from John Maxwell, and I was like, "Where's the Law of the Lid?" Because all of his books have like laws.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, I didn't bring the Law of the Lid book." So, but we found other things to talk about. It was good.
Yeah. So I like that, and how he gave the example of fleas when you put them in a jar and they keep bumping on the top of the lid in a closed jar. How eventually they'll learn not to jump as high because they keep hitting that lid and they're tired of hitting that lid.
Right.
And so that message just kind of hit me hard. And my mom and John Home, even I think she was telling me a little bit about what they're speaking about afterwards. And so, yeah, I really like that message. I took a lot of notes on that, and that hit hard. Let's see. The next day was Friday, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know my days in summertime.
Yeah, much less at camp.
Yeah, I liked how they did at the movies. Did they do that last year at camp?
They did.
Okay, yeah.
They just started it either last year or the year before.
Okay, because I remember at Camp Elevation, which was like, 7th grade, I think.
And what's Camp Elevation?
That was like the camp previous to White Oak, like the year before they started doing the White Oak.
Seacoast, but Camp Elevation.
Yeah, that's what it was called. It was when I was in 7th grade, so 4 or 5 years ago ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that camp, I remember waking up in the morning and I'd just be tired, and they would have a speaker, and I mean the speaker would be phenomenal. It's just it's hard to get a lot from a phenomenal speaker when you're about to pass out because you're so tired. I mean my head would just be like, and then I just kind of like jerk awake, and then same thing, But I liked how they did that in the movies. It was more relaxed, But I mean, we still got after worship in the morning. I personally skipped breakfast those mornings. I brought my own breakfast and slept in.
Pop-Tarts, yeah, fair enough.
Pop-Tarts, Starbucks coffee, and a Kind bar, and just slept in. So kids who's going to camp next year, if you want extra sleep, bring your own breakfast and sleep through breakfast.
It's one way to do it.
Unless you're in Kyle Taylor's room, he won't let you do that. He'll get you up at 6 a.m. and he'll be running around and doing push-ups and throwing up.
Maybe.
For those of y'all who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we do.
Kyle made his kids get up at 6 a.m., run around.
We do a few push-ups in the morning.
One of them started throwing up, and so my mom, the nurse, had to get up at 6 a.m. and help a throwing up child.
Hey, by the last... Yeah, it was funny. I called the nurse, and then who's his mom? The nurse.
I'm not getting up at 6 a.m.
Said, "Do I have to?" No, she's a great nurse. Yeah, no, that student actually. By the end of camp, he was one of the strongest runners, in the morning. By the end of camp, that was like 3 days later. But
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so where were we at? Then let's see. We did House Wars, which I think that day we did the kick and slide, which our
Y'all
team
might have. I didn't.
What?
I didn't get to do kick and slide. I know. I'm bummed. Still bummed.
Hey, we can do that. Me and you, just me and you.
A 2-man kickball game with the slip and slide.
And pools.
And pools?
And pools. They had slip and slide into a pool. Like a little baby pool, not like a big pool.
Oh, hey, whenever we go to that water park this Wednesday, we could do that, maybe. I'd bring a tarp.
Nope. There's no running at water parks. Those lifeguards are mean.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And so we lost by 2 points, but hey, I scored a home run. That's all that matters.
That's pretty sweet.
No, I'm kidding.
When you're losing, it doesn't matter. Just me looking good.
Yeah. That's the lesson from this.
That's right.
Just look good.
That's right.
Doesn't matter what the team does.
That's right. You're like flexing all along the way.
And
look at me.
Actually, instead of sliding, I slid the first one, and like it was like the tarp was dry, so like I got like burned. My skin got burned from it. And so the next ones I just like ran over the slip and slide and ran into the pool. Which we may have lost points for that, but oh well. Yeah, so we lost that, but that's okay. Then we went to lunch, which I don't know what they had for lunch.
First day?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. It was probably something. Oh, tacos. That's what it was.
I think that's what we have for dinner.
It was tacos. No.
All right, well.
It was tacos.
All right.
No, maybe it was for dinner. I don't care. And then after that, I think me, Sean, Cole, and I think maybe Riley was there, Ian, and some other people kind of like came in and out the room. But we went into our small group room because there was a piano there. And I played piano, Sean played guitar, Cole played a little bit of guitar.
Nice.
And we all just kind of like sang and did our own like organic acoustic worship, which was, I would say that was really awesome. I was kind of, I might get into that later, but I mean, that was, I've always wanted to be able to play the piano just on the spot, just whip out songs like that. And so that was kind of like a big, I guess, accomplishment, and something that I was happy about, to be able to just, be able to play piano, worship, with some friends kind of on the spot.
Yeah.
Huge. That was awesome. I think we did that for about 2 or 3 hours, which.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So to backtrack though, so we had, what was it? We had a message, or what do we have beforehand?
Before that?
Yeah.
Lunch.
So we had lunch, and then it was free time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was free time, so you had like 3 hours in the afternoon to do whatever.
Yeah.
And y'all just went to your campus group time, so every campus had a classroom.
Yeah, how like we met in those classrooms the night before. I noticed we had a piano in there, so like I was playing it that night. I just like I missed my piano.
Right. So this is just y'all could do anything, and y'all just whatever went to your classroom.
Yeah. So we went to that room because there was a piano there.
Gotcha.
And so we just started playing some songs and worshiping and talking and having a good time. So that took up like 2.5 hours, and I went back to the room and I took a nap, because in summer camp I will take a nap. I don't take naps, but in summer camp I take naps.
All right.
Let's see. Who spoke that night? Because after that, I think, what did we do? Go to dinner?
I think that night was Ryan.
Ryan.
I think that was...
Ryan Leak.
Both the speakers, what they started off with, that was funny. Do you remember what they were saying?
No, tell us.
I probably won't tell y'all on the podcast.
Was it something bad? I don't remember.
Yes.
Was it something bad what they were telling us? Oh, what,
No.
they always start out how they have like wives now and that kind of thing?
They were like, we have wives, and then we just started having sex, and then we had babies.
Yeah, okay.
If you need to edit
Be
that
fruitful
out,
and
if you need to
multiply.
edit that out, go ahead.
I mean, whatever.
Hey, but
that's not even
they
inappropriate.
said that. Yeah, they said
In
that.
my
in
eyes,
front
that's
of
not
God.
really.
No,
Yeah, that's what-
it's not
I mean,
inappropriate. It was just funny.
Kind of, I guess, what you do
never
when you
hear
get married,
that.
right? I don't know. A lot of people don't even wait, but I mean, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. Yeah, so he spoke, and we did small group time that night too. And I mean, small group time was just, I know I spoke up a little bit and kind of input it on the discussion every now and then, but, just kind of like sitting back and listening to some of the other kids and, where their hearts were and where they are in life. It's interesting to hear, other people's viewpoints and, kind of people letting off some baggage and some hardships in their life, and I think through those nights, we're sitting around in a small group, the James Island small group really kind of came together as a family.
Yeah.
A lot more, I kind of felt that vibe coming into that camp.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
And so what would you subscribe the ingredients to coming together like that?
Subscribe the ingredients.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say vulnerability is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Just being able, because I know some people spoke up about some, really tough things that, no one really wants to admit, if they're dealing with that kind of stuff because fear of judgment and just fear of, what that sin is bringing over their lives.
Right.
So I would say the biggest thing is just being vulnerable with people, and kind of being able to tell people personal stuff and open up, which I know, like for me, it's not that hard to open up to people. Like, I'm I like to think that I'm pretty vulnerable with people when it comes to that kind of time, more one-on-one than like in a big group. So,
Right.
That's kind of, I guess I need to work on, being more vulnerable to a group, but,
Yeah. It's tough.
yeah. I would say that's the biggest ingredient. It's just being vulnerable. And of course being truthful,
Yeah.
that kind of goes along with it. Just being truthful with, what you're dealing with, or, if you have like something that's been on your head, just kind of getting that off your plate.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that's kind of the two biggest things that I observed in that room.
Right. Was it like one person kind of just talking about something that was on their heart, or
No,
did a leader kind of initiate something, or what that really look like for you guys kind of generally?
The leaders kind of started off and kind of really just encouraged us to speak, which I really loved. And it wasn't just one person. It was, I would say at least half the room kind of opened up and were very vulnerable. Especially the last night, I think everybody opened up a lot, because everybody spoke up. We wanted everyone, so we didn't do it like in necessarily an order, but we just kind of all, went around and talked about, what the camp experience was like, what we learned from it, our takeaways from it, and that got really deep. And I think we spent like 2.5 hours in the room.
Oh wow.
Like it was a long time. Like we went into late night.
Right. That's what I
With
was
that,
gonna ask.
yeah, like we went into late night, and and that last night, because it took so long, everyone was like, well, it's kind of too late to go to late night, so actually, I guess I'm skipping ahead, but oh well. We went outside. I think it wasn't last night. It was the night before, actually. I'm sorry. I'm
Right.
skipping. But the night before, we went out, and I don't know if you saw us, but we just, the James Island group kind of circled up around like the back patio.
Yeah.
And just started worshiping and doing some kind of acoustic organic worship, which I love.
Yeah.
And so, as I think we did that for about 2 hours. It was a long
y'all
time.
went on and on.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of interject, because I was walking around and I was kind of tasked to like, investigate some things and just make sure that students were, doing the right thing, that kind of thing, or at least not doing the wrong things. And I didn't really get to enjoy it necessarily, but it was like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't see how it started,
Shout out to Robbie and Michael.
You keep
and
doing more
Carissa.
shout outs, Scott. Okay.
Shout out to Robbie, Michael, and Carissa.
Oh my Lord. Those are good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good people.
Hey, you can't get mad at me for shouting out good people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that was awesome. I mean, that was probably a keystone of where everyone grew closer to God and grew closer to each other, because, there are always leaders in worship who are always, they start out strong in their worship, but as probably we progressed about the half hour point into it, everybody was, on their knees, standing up, or, going deep into worship, and it's kind of like, those things always start off a little awkward sometimes. People are like, what do I do? What do I do? But like, I really feel like everybody got past the awkward point and just kind of fell deep into worship with God.
Yeah.
So that was a great environment to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, that was huge. And I mean, literally, it started with how many people were
our James Island group was pretty big. I think like probably 15 people.
Really? Well, that is pretty big. But
I mean,
when I walked up
for a small group of only high school kids, that's pretty big.
Right. That is pretty big.
But
for a
compared
small
to
group.
a 500, 400 kid camp, I guess that's not that big.
Yeah, and it's all relative. But yeah,
Yeah.
when I walked up, I mean, it was like
It's
at least 100 people. I mean, it looked like a pretty big
Yeah.
mass of people.
Yeah, it was just one of those things.
Maybe
where,
150 people.
people started coming out and like they were kind of socializing, and then they like looked over and like, hey, that looks awesome. Let's go join them. And
Right.
so that was awesome.
Yeah, and it wasn't just people like standing there. I mean, people were singing and
people-
without words on a screen.
I know.
I don't know how they knew the words.
Shout out to Robbie and Chris.
How'd you know the words? How does anyone know words? What do people? How do they know words?
Well, I mean, Robbie and actually Sean started out too on guitar. They started playing the guitar and just singing. And I mean, if you didn't know the words, you kind of join in, and it was more organic worship. Like you could sing whatever, say whatever. You could pray, like whatever you wanted to do. But I mean,
Right.
I mean, also like we did. Most of the songs were songs that have been played, around Seacoast Church a lot. Like Oceans Where Feet May Fail.
Right.
That's kind of that was the big song that stuck out to me that night. I know we sang a lot of others, just like popular songs that everyone knows the
Right.
words to pretty much off the top of their head.
Right. That's impressive. People actually know the worship songs. They don't need it on the screen. Wow.
I mean,
Incredible.
I mean, honestly, I am a musician, so like, I can pick up on songs, fairly easy, but, not trying to say that to brag. It's just, I can do that,
Yeah.
but like,
No, you have a bent toward it.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, when you hear songs, once a week, over and over for a while, they kind of get ingrained to your head, and maybe you won't be able to pop them off the top of your head, but when you have instrumentation and other people that are kind of like guiding you to that, I guess that's where that comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah.
So y'all went. I mean, y'all did that for a while. And whenever you say late night, for those that are listening, they may not know, that's like an activity that was going on at some point. So there was some activity
That was
going
like
on
the
that
party
night.
time at
Right.
night, but we kind of, I think that night our small group met for about a little over an hour. Like we had some pretty intense small group times. So after that, or no, actually that night we started out there for 10 minutes, and then we basically moved. He was like, hey, let's do some worship. So we moved out there, and I mean, it was probably 2.5 hours that we were out there. It was a long time.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It was right by the cafe too. You could order up food.
I know you could order some food.
Order up their milkshakes.
Yeah, and then worship God for that milkshake.
I'll tell you what. Milkshakes and worship, man.
Oh yeah.
Some church might take that concept and just roll with it. I don't know.
Hey, we already have a Starbucks at Seacoast
Yeah, more or less.
and the Daniel Island Mount Pleasant campus because people.
Daniel Island, Mount Pleasant.
Well, there's no Daniel Island one, but I figure
We've yet to even get a
everyone from
Starbucks
Daniel
here.
Island that goes to Seacoast goes to Long Point.
Right. Pretty much,
Yeah,
basically.
I mean Daniel Island people are Long Point people. If you know what I mean.
More or less.
Sorry to all those Daniel Island.
What are you trying to say?
people that
Why are
just
you
offended.
apologizing anyway? Daniel Island people are amazing. I mean, sure, we have to pay for the air that we breathe over here.
Yep.
And sure,
And sure, you got to pay for every single.
we got to
blade
cut
of
the
get
grass
cut
every hour on the hour. I
every
mean,
hour. Every hour.
but I mean, hey, the people are good.
there can't be a single leaf on the ground,
All right.
especially on the streets. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
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 There might even be monitors in the streets that, like, whenever a leaf falls,
They'll give you a ticket
it
for
might
that.
alert something. It
They'll
might
give you a
give a
ticket.
ticket to the tree.
Yeah.
You think could trees get tickets?
Yeah. On Daniel Island, anything's possible.
If that tree doesn't stop dropping leaves on the road, that tree will be cut. That's the punishment. The tree will be cut.
Hey,
unless it's a live oak.
I'm sure they cut them a lot.
You'd have to trim them, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
for those
who may not know, I don't know, wherever we're podcasting, Daniel Island's a very nice master planned community. Which why are you laughing, man? It's an amazing place. It really is.
No, it is. Yeah, I like the place.
Definitely, in some ways, you kind of get what you pay for in the positive way. So things tend to be just more expensive.
Yeah. Kyle likes his perfect world.
I lucked out getting this condo. That's for another story, though. We're trying to interview you. So y'all did the worship, which was awesome.
Yep.
Y'all came together, and then camp. So that was kind of 3/4 of the way through camp, probably. That was
I think I skipped the last full day, which was Saturday. Wait,
what did you say? You skipped the last full day?
No, like talking about it just now.
Okay.
I
just went into hibernation the last day.
I mean, I did sleep in, like I said. Had my own breakfast. Got to service just about on time.
I'm sure you had to sleep in because you were just reading the Bible all night and you just had to get some sleep.
I was reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, which is
nice.
a book that I got.
Dale Carnegie, right?
Yeah. That's actually what I was reading.
It's been a year or two since I got into that.
And I think that morning I woke up and, sorry for all the people that I'm a rule breaker just a little bit, like not the bad rules, but
Not the bad rules.
Walking around.
Well, everyone who breaks rules justifies it.
Walking around with your shirt off, sorry.
Yeah, I had a little word.
Yeah, a word or two.
Yeah, and I didn't even, and that's such a small thing. I mean, it's funny, like even like Christian pool parties is kind of like a funny thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you kind of feel like you have to be aware of different things and like. Yeah. And I don't know if it's right and wrong, to be honest, per se. I mean, I think you do need to be smart. Yeah. And there's different situations. Just recognizing that, like. Yeah. If you're at the beach, like, obviously, I mean, it's also cultural norms are like a big part of how we think too. Yeah. Which some things I think just are what they are. Yep. It's like
that's right.
There may not be morals necessarily tied to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, some of that's for another topic.
Yeah. So that morning, I think I woke up and, I kind of took a little walk, maybe a far walk.
A far walk?
Maybe a far walk.
You took a far walk? Isn't that like the name of the king in Shrek? Or is it Farquaad?
I've never watched Shrek.
You never watched Shrek?
I know. Everyone freaks out when I say I've never watched a lot. I've never watched a lot of famous
I think it was Farquaad, I think. But anyway, you took a far walk.
Yeah, so I took a far walk.
Funny way to say it.
I don't know if it was. I don't know where it was exactly.
Wait, you don't know where it was?
Well, I mean, you know the trick when you're in the woods, you always like break a tree limb in some awkward way. So as you go, so then you can find your way back. So that's kind of what I did. Okay. Took a little walk.
You went into the okay. Wait, don't self-incriminate yourself right now.
Oh, this camp's over. You can't get me now.
All right. Anyway,
don't worry. So I was a leader too.
You went on a far walk.
Yeah. Who knows if it was still on the camp boundaries, but that's for another day. I found a little tree to sit on, like a tree stump. Okay. It wasn't a stump. It was a fallen tree. Sat there, read my book that morning. Cool. Can't remember. I think I might have brought my Bible with me. I don't know. Cool. I forgot. And then I came back and got there just in time for the service in the morning.
Well, at least you did that. All right.
Yeah. We did the At the Movies. I think first day at the movies we did the Finding Dory, right? And then the second day we did I forgot do you know the name of the movie? About the guy who got on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Invincible.
Yeah,
really good football movie.
Yeah, which I want to try to watch that.
Yeah.
Maybe we need a movie night tonight.
Dude. Oh, well, shoot. I kind of have work tomorrow, but maybe we can fit it in.
Oh, work.
No. I have a job and stuff.
What's a job?
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that was good. I like that movie and that. Let's see. Then we went to House Wars, which that day we did an interesting game because, well, let me say, we did go to small groups in our rooms before we went to House Wars, which, again, we were late for House Wars because I will say James Allen, I'm going to brag about us a little bit. We get intense,
Oh, I know.
Intense.
Oh, I know.
Stuff gets deep. I'm sure everybody's small groups do too, So it's a great experience. So
yeah.
And so then after that we went to House Wars, which we played a weird game where you had a foam noodle and a bunch of balls in like the middle of the court, And so you had to run out to the balls and like whack them across to the other side.
Right.
And then, you know, your defense on your team was trying to keep the balls out from your side, which was like, I guess you can call it a goal. But you can just whack these kids with like a foam noodle, which, you know, I know it's a foam noodle, so it doesn't hurt, but like still. Right. When you think of a church summer camp, you don't think of whacking people with anything.
With foam noodles. Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Craziness.
I didn't know that halfway through. I was like, this kid came and whacked me in the head with a noodle. Like, is that like foul or something? And he's like, no, you can whack people. So then I just kind of, let's just say I kind of went for it after that.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes us leaders will just make the rules up as we go. We're like, oh, someone whacked somebody with the noodle.
Well, no,
we'll make that part of the game.
Well, I got there. I got to that game late. I remember this particularly because I left my sunglasses. They fell off while I was walking out the service to House Wars. But luckily I found them. Thanks to, I think it was, I don't know who the MC guy was, but he found them for me.
Oh, yeah. Corey, I think.
Yeah, shout out to Corey.
Okay. All right.
Also Trayvon.
Somerville campus, as far as I know.
Yeah. So I didn't get there till late. And, you know, I found out that you can whack people. So I whacked people.
There you go. That was your highlight right there.
Yep.
Boom. That's camp.
Boom. Whacking people.
You can whack people with
you can whack people and you can get
with the
into
noodle
deep conversations at small group. That's it.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Great.
And you can go and take a hike in the woods.
No.
No.
Wait, maybe. Depends.
If it's on campus boundaries.
Yes. And no purple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then I want to know more about, maybe get into a little bit about James Island campus and aside from summer camp, how that's going.
Okay.
And you mentioned a little bit of scripture that you like, so maybe we'll get into that.
All right.
And I don't know what else. So we'll take a break.
All right. And let me say, summer camp 2018.
Nope.
Summer camp 2018.
Yes.
Where you going? It's gonna be awesome. Y'all better be there.
Word.
Because it's gonna be my last year there, and so I'm gonna have a good time.
All right.
In a good way. In a good way.
Because I'm gonna be there.
Hey, you. Yeah. Yeah, you. You with the ears. So this is the little halftime show. I really didn't have anything prepared to insert in here. So I might as well give a plug. You've listened this far, and I bet some of you aren't even subscribed to the podcast. Did you know you can subscribe? You can go on YouTunes, whatever it's called. YouTunes, combine it, YouTube and iTunes. You can go to both of them. You can hit subscribe. It's going to be awesome. And that way you have all the latest episodes all the time, and you get to hear more from students like you, or maybe even you're a youth leader or something like that, you know? And maybe you might even get to be on the show one day. We want to hear about your story. So you can reach out to us as well at generationgiants@gmail.com if that's something you might be interested in. So I want to encourage you guys. You guys are awesome. And we got plenty of more good stuff coming on. And, my minute's up. Here we go.
So re-kick off the second half here.
All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the introduction. My name is Michael Root.
Back to the introduction. Yeah, let's start all over.
So senior at SOA High School.
So let's at least touch on, so church is a big thing for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So faith and what all that looks like for you. So I guess we touched on it in the intro, but I guess I originally met you and your family. It's kind of a long story, but I got approached to be a youth leader at the James Island Seacoast campus where I was attending.
Shout out to Kyle Taylor for being an awesome youth leader.
Shout out. Yeah, what an awesome youth leader.
What? I'm not actually going
to. What?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. I'm intrigued now. But anyway, where was I going with this? So, no, don't even write it. What are you? Stop. Okay, what are you writing? No. All right, so whenever I was the youth leader, we might have gone to see an R-rated movie together, and it might have had Will Ferrell in it, and I think Kevin Hart, and it might have been, the movie title might have been called Get Hard. Anyway, so
you said that, not me.
So we met because I was blessed and fortunate to be asked to be a youth leader, and I think you were in eighth grade. Eighth grade? Were you still in middle school? You were in high school. It was 8th and 9th grade. It was 8th and 9th.
I think I was in. Was I in 9th grade by then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the 8th and 9th grade small group, and I was in 9th grade at the time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Which I think, didn't you do it a little bit the year before, kind of like tag team with some people, with Carissa and maybe Andy?
No, I was never a part when Andy was like hosting.
Okay, shout out to Andy.
There you go. just drop shout outs everywhere. But and that was an awesome experience, and that's really how we got to know each other. And you've continued to more or less be committed to James Island campus since then. You haven't moved off the island like I have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like it there on that.
But it's, hey, it's all one church. And yeah, if I lived on the water, I probably wouldn't want to leave either. one step closer. I'm not technically closer to water, but
yeah,
not at all actually for that matter.
There's no beach around here.
I'm actually further away from the water. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But you've been very committed to James Island campus, and you're approaching. So going back to music, you're looking into maybe being some type of worship leader, right?
Yeah,
so,
actually, I don't know if I don't think I've told you. You may have heard about it last night, but yesterday I auditioned for the worship band.
Oh, big time!
Yeah, so they had me audition, which, I appreciated that they let me do that, and I'm waiting for the results to come back.
Okay,
I'm really excited about it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And so, in a nutshell, what did the audition look like? Did you play a few songs? What did you do?
Yeah, so when I was in Knoxville, Tennessee about 2 weeks ago, Carissa sent me an email, asking if I wanted to audition, and I was like, yes.
And Carissa is, what would you describe her role as right now?
She is, kind of a co-leader on the worship team with Robbie Madison, and she's also, a co-leader in the small group with Robbie Madison. They're big on, in the worship band at James Island, and Carissa, she's always been at small group. She's been dedicated.
She was my co-leader
longer than I have. Yeah. She was there, for a long time. So, shout out to her. Thanks for her.
Yeah,
her support.
Absolutely.
So she asked me to audition at the James Island campus for playing piano. I practiced and prepared those songs. Which those songs are mainly just chords, so it's not too bad. And what's funny, is that in the past year, I've been classically trained, so, I kind of knew the concepts of chords, but like I couldn't whip out, what an A sus7 is off the top of my head and play it. But, now, like in the past year, I've worked hard to get to that point where I can, whip off a good number of different chords and just, play them kind of on the spot. And so that's kind of what the skill set you need to have to play in the worship band. And so, I kind of think it was God's doing that. I got interested in that and playing that kind of music, and really studying and focusing on learning those kinds of chords and stuff like that. I practiced those songs for about a week and a half, and that's about the time that I had to practice and prepare. And then yesterday I went in, and me and somebody else, her name was Catherine. She was auditioning for a vocal, and so I played the piano.
Cool.
And so, I feel like the audition went really well. I feel like I did, my best, and I was pretty spot on. And I would say the hardest thing at that audition, which for music people, they'll know what I'm talking about, and I'll kind of break it down, is, they had me prepare Sovereign Air, which was in the key of A major.
Okay. Sovereign Air?
Sovereign Air.
Okay.
Isn't that how you say it? Sovereign?
I'm not. Yeah, Sovereign. Yeah.
Yeah, the one, I think it was written by Morton Schock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one of the main worship leaders at Seacoast.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so that was in A major, and so we played it through, and then they had us transpose it down a whole step into the key of G major, which basically, for people who don't know what that is,
me.
Yeah, you have a couple chords. I think there were 5 chords in that song that were like A, what are the other? F sharp minor, E sus, and E major, and D. And so basically the chords all completely changed because we moved the key down a half step, or not a half step, a whole step.
Oh, wow.
So the new chords were, I think, G, C, E minor, D major, and then a couple others that I can't remember off the top of my head. So basically, I think I got like 30 seconds to like figure out the chords and, jot them down real quick. And then, I played the song through, and, I made a few mistakes because it was just kind of on the spur of the moment. But I feel like I still did pretty good and solid on that one.
Yeah.
And so, I've practiced that too, is playing chords and then transposing them down and playing along with like a recording in a different key, just kind of for those scenarios. Because as a musician, that's the skill set that you need to have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like the audition, I think I did the best that I possibly can, and I just await the results.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And so for the audition, she sang while you played.
And then we had James on the guitar.
Cool.
And then, gosh, I forgot his name. I think his name's John, the guy who's on the drums.
Okay.
Shout out to John.
Okay.
Sorry if that's not your name. I'm trying to get better
sure
at
there's a
remembering
John somewhere
names.
Listening.
And then Robbie sang harmony for one song and then lead vocal on the next
Oh, wow.
2 songs. So, I mean, we had the whole band, and basically Catherine filled in on the singing part, and I filled in on the piano part.
So it must have felt just like you were like playing a worship song in front of
it
the
was,
church.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling when you're up there, and especially when you have a crowd, because we didn't have really a crowd.
Right.
We were just in the rehearsal studio
Right.
at the time. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean,
Good.
it was probably the only audition that I actually had a lot of fun playing, I mean, when I was in SOA,
Right.
they auditioned for there, I was playing classical songs, which, I like classical, but like, I was pretty nervous for that one. And, that was a little different kind of audition, and I was
Sure.
going for a different part in my piano playing. So yeah, but that was a fun audition. And I mean, I got to the point where I basically knew the songs, off the top of my head. So like I could just kind of jam out with them. And so I felt really good about that.
Nice. So had you already gotten the songs and prepared and kind of already
like
memorized them?
Like I said, I had a week and a half. I didn't quite have them memorized, just because when I got them, I was out of town for a couple of days. Came back for I think 2-3 days, which I worked with your dad those days too. Then I went to summer camp, and then came back and worked this whole week with your dad. So like, my piano playing was like
My dad, the slave driver.
like shout out to my family, because I was playing piano like pretty early in the morning until late at night some nights, just to get my practice time in. So thanks to them for not complaining too much about having piano playing while they might be trying to sleep.
Right.
But yeah, but I mean, I didn't quite have them memorized, but I had them down to where like I could play them with confidence, and kind of like look away from the sheet music and keep up with the band, and add some improvisations and stuff like that with them.
Cool. Good. So you did that.
Yeah.
And when do you hear back?
They said sometime this week, so
Really?
not a specific date, but just sometime this week, I
Right.
guess.
So you going into senior year, you're going to start kind of making some decisions, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do you kind of feel weight at all, or what? How's that feel?
Do I feel what?
The weight? Do you kind of feel significance?
I felt the weight since freshman year.
This is freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't know what
All
I
right.
want to do, where I want to go. And
Yeah,
I think,
I'm sure no one else feels that way.
I think about 90% of high school seniors, and even high school people in general, feel that way.
At
least from talking to my
did that
friends.
topic come up like at camp? Was that a thing that came up much?
Not
or was
too
it more
much,
personal?
honestly. I mean, there were a few people who kind of talked about it, but it wasn't too much
Right.
of that. And also the James Island group, and I'm sure people, they're still, struggling and thinking about this, but, I think me and like maybe 2-3 other people are seniors in the James Island group.
Okay, yeah. If you don't have a lot of seniors, then
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it's only like me and 2 other seniors there.
Right.
So I think that might have been a reason why, but still, I mean, the pressure can be on in junior and sophomore and freshman year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, most people go into a plan to go to college, but they don't even know necessarily
Yeah.
what they want to
that's
do in
true.
college. It's like undeclared
true.
majors. It's like, well, let's spend $30,000 for this first year and just
Yeah.
undeclare something.
Yeah. They need to read the book Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, yeah. Napoleon Hill. That's right.
Learning how to make decisive decisions.
Right.
It's a good habit.
Yep. So right now though, are you leaning toward going to school for worship, or going to like another college, or where are you leaning right now?
My plan is, and there's kind of 2 ways. I want to go to the School of Worship.
So the Seacoast School of
The
Worship,
Seacoast School of
which
Worship.
is just, I think, starting this coming year.
Yeah.
So it's like a brand new
the
thing.
whole program of like a college degree.
Right. So before they had the School of Worship, and
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah.
how that worked with a degree. I don't know much about it.
I don't think it was like a accredited program where like you could switch to different colleges, or like it wasn't like an actual college degree.
Right. So there's
It was
laws
just
and
like
stuff with that.
But like, it did help, if you're trying to be a full-time worship leader, if you went to that, it would, it helps on your resume.
Yeah. Huge resume boost.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want to do that. My question is right now if I'm going to take a year off after high school and focus on my business, or if I'm going to go straight into the school of worship. So that's kind of where I'm debating right now.
Okay.
What I want to do. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you definitely leave something there open-ended. So you're talking about maybe taking a year off to focus on your business. So in a nutshell, what are you doing? What does that mean? What is your business? Yep. The business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on the business. Can't talk about it though.
There's a website you go to, and there's all the information there.
Okay. Well, we'll give a nutshell. What are you doing right now, or what are you able to do, or what do you want to do?
Me and my family, the reason that we're doing this business is to have time freedom and financial freedom.
Okay. So what's the business?
We oversee the largest legal sales force in the United States.
Okay. You oversee. So that makes it sound pretty big.
We oversee the sales force of the largest legal service provider in the United States and Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's called
Legal Shield.
Okay. So it's called Legal Shield. Okay. So your family's doing that, and so
I just spoiled it for everyone. That's why I didn't want to say it.
You just spoiled it.
I just spoiled it.
Should we have kept it open ended? I can edit that part out.
We should have kept it open.
Just kept it open ended,
Yeah.
Maybe for the
That's
end.
the whole point of the business.
Oh, don't say the name.
Well, the thing is, when you say the name, people automatically think, "Oh, Legal Shield, I know all about it. I don't need legal services," and then they don't see a need for it because they don't have all the information.
Sure.
It's like if I ask you to jump out of an airplane with no parachute for $10,000, are you going to do it? $10,000 to die?
I think the answer is probably I don't know. Wait, can you up it to $1 million?
So
I'll think about
if I ask you $1,000 jump out of an airplane with no parachute, $1,000, would you?
All right, so I would not. I would probably not jump out of an airplane even if I had a parachute, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
but here's the thing: you didn't have all the information because this airplane is on the ground.
There you go.
So you're about a 2-foot jump. That's the analogy that we use. When you don't have all the information, you can lose out on a couple $1,000s, a couple $1 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it's worth to you.
Yes, it's a good kind of almost a riddle, actually.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So you're considering taking a year off to once you turn 18, you can legally be what?
Be in the business.
For the business. Be in the business.
Yeah,
like what does that mean? You can have a license.
Yeah,
what does
you
that
get licensed
look like?
through South Carolina Consumer Affairs, and basically you get like a whole back office set up, and your business is up and running.
So here's the question: if you did go to school of worship, though, would you still?
I still do the business.
You'd still do it
part-time.
anyway. You're saying.
Yeah, but
it
our
would be more
business is
part-time.
projected to grow in these next couple of years tremendously. That's why I'm debating
Okay.
if I should put my energy there, very heavily, or if I should go to the school of worship.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, that's my thought process on that. Is because the school of worship's going to be there, whereas sometimes different opportunities, there's a shorter lifetime for these opportunities. And you have to take advantage of an opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity.
There you go. What are you quoting Napoleon Hill right now? Is that Napoleon Hill? I can't remember.
I don't know who that is. All I know is that the people, the mentors that I hang around with, we all bounce these quotes off each other. So that's accredited to someone else.
Right.
It's probably accredited to a lot of people.
Right.
I hear it said all the time, but that doesn't take away from the value and what it's worth.
Yeah. So say it one more time if you can.
You have to take advantage of the opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you've got several good options coming up. So,
yeah.
Your family is more than willing to pay for School of Worship, which is partnering with Southeastern University. So that's how you can get a degree.
Yes.
Is it a Bachelor of Science, Arts? I don't really know.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the degree itself. I'm more there just because I want to expand and grow myself as a musician and as a worship leader and as a Christian, and also build relationships with a lot of people.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this too. So this being the first year, and you probably know people that are about to enroll, maybe. Do you know anybody yet?
Michael Simmons, I know he's going to go this year.
He's about to go?
Yeah, that's the only person I know. I know Sean Powers is going to do it. He's going into his junior year. He's going to do it when he gets out.
Oh, okay.
From what he's talking about. And I think a few other James Island people are thinking about doing it. I haven't heard if they're, if they've made a firm decision on that, but I've heard a few people kind of, thinking about it.
Yeah. So that's cool. So you've already got friends that you can ask them along the way, like, how is it? Or even,
And Carissa, she did the old program, the one that wasn't through Southeastern,
Right.
but still was a school of worship. So.
Right. Yeah. So you can kind of ask them, how's it going, or did it lead to anything? Did it fill your expectations?
Yeah.
Right. The unmet expectations is what causes unhappiness, I think.
Yeah.
Or discontent.
Yeah.
If you're not expecting anything and you get something, could even be small, then you're like ecstatic about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're expecting big things, like people, I mean, there's a whole nother topic that we maybe can't get into, but the college thing, getting loans for colleges and all that, and then you have all this debt.
Yeah, don't do that, kids.
They build up this expectation that they will get a job because they got a degree, and the job will be very high paying, and they'll get to live in these, $1,000 a month rent or buy a house, very soon. And
the problem is that they don't realize some of their jobs may not be as high paying, and even though they're high paying, 50% of your money goes to taxes. So,
well, it can be a lot. Yeah.
It's about 50% right now, including, income tax, house tax, car tax that you pay at the grocery store. If you add all that up, it's about 50%.
And it depends, though.
Yeah.
Different tax rates. But
unless you own a business.
Your parents are probably
when you own a business, you
you
can play the games, the rules of the game. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Start trying to write things off whenever you have a business.
Yeah.
You just write it off. I love talking about the Seinfeld. Did I show you the Seinfeld clip?
No.
With Kramer?
No.
He's like, oh, I'm going to keep that receipt. I'll just write off my taxes.
Yeah.
And
that's what you do when you have a business. Everything's a write-off.
Yeah. Seinfeld's like, write it off. What do you mean? He's like, well, you just write it off. And they're like, Kramer, what does that even mean? He's like, I don't know, but they know. You just write it off.
My tax man knows how to do it. I don't.
Tax man knows.
The IRS might not want us to do it, but oh well.
They make it so complicated.
Yeah.
I'm in the, I can't even, taxes change all the time, it seems like. So I don't even remember. I think my income tax might be 25%.
That's
and then,
insane.
but you never really know because whenever you get employed by an employer, they deduct something that they, it's kind of like a standard deduction that they take, but you don't actually know, like by the end of it, like that's why they do your tax returns at the end of the year. Then they actually calculate what you made by the end of the year. It's all projection, like until you get to the end of the fiscal year. Yeah,
because they know if they give everybody the money up front, they're going to spend it.
Right.
No money.
I just know about 25% of every paycheck goes to the government. So what that looks like for me. I don't even know. I don't look at my pay stubs. It just goes to the bank. But I don't know. It's around $500, I think, a paycheck or so. Man, that's something like that. That's a lot. Just going to the government. And then they have it structured now so that like at the end of the year the government's your friend. You're getting money back from the government. Yeah,
so but the thing is the money wasn't even theirs to begin with.
Right, it's not theirs.
It's funny how people always get so happy about a refund, but it's their money anyways. Right.
We just get content with how it's structured.
Yeah, and
so
maybe that's purposeful by the government.
Oh, it absolutely is. I don't know when necessarily our current format of taxation started. Yeah. Taxes are a necessary thing, I think, in government.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But
unless you believe what we were watching last night, that we should have voluntary tax.
Not to get into it. We were watching an Ayn Rand clip from like 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. Kind of interesting. I'm generally a libertarian-minded political thinker. Yeah. And I think Ayn Rand is considered a libertarian thinker, but from what we saw for like 30 minutes,
she's very extreme in
I didn't
setting
really
her
get that
ways
feeling.
of what she's thinking, which is that's a good thing that people set in their ways.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or not, though.
Right. So there's a lot there. Yeah. So that's good stuff. So I want to ask you this. Talking about what do you see for yourself in the coming years, and where do you want to be? Mm-hmm. So you're leaning toward maybe school of worship. Yeah. Maybe business. Maybe both. Well,
definitely, it's going to be both, no matter which way I go.
Okay.
It's not a maybe. It's just how I want to approach it.
Just how you do it. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So are you? So in 5 years, kind of, what do you hope to be doing?
I definitely want to be spending time a lot in the church and volunteering my time there. Mainly, being a worship leader or just being on the worship band. And then I want to be doing part-time gigs, playing piano. And that was kind of one big thing that I've learned in this past year is, I never really thought that I would be an actual pianist. I thought I would just do that as a hobby, just because my belief level wasn't there in myself. But, as I've grown this past year, like my belief level has, gotten to the point where I'm like, I can do what I want to do. I just have to make it happen. So I want to do service in the church on the worship band. Probably do some part-time gigs around town and maybe even move to some different areas. Robbie was telling me the best way to get your name out there is to move to different cities.
Okay.
And, for a couple months at a time, and just play it as much as you can in different areas, and get your name out there, which is called TOMA, top of the mind awareness.
Okay.
That's the kind of the business term for it. Is when you think who's the best, jazz pianist in the town, Michael Root wants to be one of the top names up there,
Mm-hmm.
And so to do that, you should go to different towns, different cities, where you can play, and just kind of get your name out there.
Yeah.
So I might take a couple years to do that and get my name out there, and then of course have my business going part time too.
Right. So that's interesting, and I want to ask this,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it'll open up a bigger conversation. Do you see with media and social media and YouTube and the ability to broadcast to large audiences and that kind of thing, do you see that changing to where people no longer need to move and play in different places, but maybe somehow use, the online tools to get their name out there?
I mean, bands are still touring and people are still doing tours and gigs around,
Yeah.
I see social media is definitely it's a big opportunity and it's a big resource to help musicians get their names out there. I would still say, live performances are live performances, and you can't change that.
Right.
You can't get quite the same energy at a live performance that you can over, over a recorded set.
Right.
You definitely feel like, a recorded set, and music in general is just very emotional, when you get into it. But you can't get that same emotion and energy as you can when you're in a live place. So honestly, I don't see that affecting it that much. I see it more as a tool to help get musicians' names out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not necessarily like replacing touring or whatnot.
I haven't studied it too much, so I can't give like a good, direct answer.
Sure.
I'd have to do more studying into it, and maybe look at some demographics of how it's already affected. But if I had to say off the top of my head, I would say it may affect it a little bit. It may tweak some things and it may cause some changes, but I still see, I still think that musicians are still going to be touring, still going to be playing live music.
Yeah.
Just basically because you can't get the same kind of feel, even if you're like doing, even if you're at home and somebody's at a concert and they FaceTime you at the concert, it may be cool, but like you don't feel the energy there when you're around a bunch of people who are excited and energetic. There's nothing like that.
Right.
So I still see touring and musicians playing around towns in different cities as a big thing.
Right. So if you were to travel around, maybe in the next 5 years or
Mm-hmm.
maybe we're even approaching longer, I don't know, would you see yourself kind of representing yourself, or do you see yourself with a band? Kind of, how does that look with you being a piano player?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. And that's why I want to build a lot of relationships with people, is because I want to start meeting some people.
Yeah.
And kind of get a band together. Because I don't want it just to be me, because you can't really accomplish too much by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like it to be more of a band. There's kind of no set plan with that as of now.
Sure.
Right. Probably need to sit down and set a plan together, but that's why I'm big on building relationships right now. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I wanted, to get into the worship band so much is, it's a good experience. It's a challenging experience, and I get, my name out there, and I get to be around, very positive, influential people, who are going to help me grow as a musician and help me grow as a Christian. But I definitely, to answer your question in short, I would rather have a band than just me.
Right.
Because, it's kind of like a different family, you're a family, you're close. So that'd be a lot better
Right.
than just me.
Right. And so in 5 years, you're thinking about doing that, getting your name out there, maybe doing worship for the church,
Yes.
maybe in a voluntary way. Is that what you're thinking?
Probably
Not necessarily
voluntary.
employed.
Maybe part-time employee. I
It's-
probably
yeah.
wouldn't be doing it for the money.
Yeah, why not
so
get
much,
some money? Why not?
Why not? But I probably that won't be my sole source of
Right.
income, or even my a good bit of my income.
Right.
So
Right. Any thoughts on past that, or is that kind of where the curtain is drawn?
Yeah, I would say that's where the curtain is drawn. Maybe hopefully in 10, 15
You hear that
years.
where the curtain's drawn? You hear that kind of musical reference thing? I was
Sure,
pretty proud of that.
sure.
I was pretty proud of that. I prepared
Thank
that
you.
for
Shout out to
weeks.
Kyle for the.
I prepared that so long.
Maybe in 10, 15 years, it'd be pretty nice to have a family.
Right. Yeah, 10 or 15. That's
10,
right.
15. I mean, I'm only 17, so
Absolutely.
you know.
I'm still working on that plan.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're 10 years older than me. So
Well, you don't have to
go.
point that out. Actually, I think I'm no, I am 10 years.
Yeah. About 10 years, maybe 9.
9
yeah.
and some change.
I mean, that's, that'd be nice to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a question if I'm going to be in Charleston or moving somewhere else. I don't know about that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love Charleston. It's a great place. But it's also constantly changing too.
Right.
So many people are moving here, so I'm just I'm keeping that open.
Right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, as we start to wind down, not quite wind down, so consider listeners listening, maybe middle school or maybe a little bit younger than you, maybe a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of lessons would you say that you might want to pass down or adversity or anything like that as encouragement would you want to give to younger listeners or anything that's on your
more like
heart
middle
there?
school age?
Whatever age you think,
Well, I would say start now with whatever it is, If you're debating if you want to do something, or even if you don't know what you want to do, just, start, kind of realize, education is a big thing in life and building relationships is a huge thing in life. One thing that I wish, and, I think I did a fairly okay job at the age and kind of my understanding of life at doing it, but I look back and see some times that I could have done this better. Is just, appreciating people for what value they give to you, and building relationships with other people as much as you can. Even if you're only in middle school, just start building relationships with people because you never know when they're going to come back up or when you may need them. And so I mean, I just, I think I burned a few bridges with some people, which, I wouldn't say I necessarily
Unbelievable.
regret.
How dare you? How dare anyone ever do that?
I mean, some that, looking back, it's like that was just not a smart thing to do.
Right.
And, I would say, reading books is a big thing in life.
Reading?
I know.
Reading?
I know. Every time I say that, people are like, they laugh at me. Actually,
Wait, reading for school? What do you mean?
I was actually at summer camp, coming back from my walk and I had my book in my hand. Somebody started laughing at me because I was reading. I was like, well, I mean, that's whatever, but
You read?
no, trust me. I don't, this may not be so good what I'm saying, but I don't read for school.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the most that I've read for school is Spark Notes. Like last year I got through summer reading, and I didn't read the book at all.
Well, some things never change.
Yeah.
Actually,
Go ahead.
I was going to say going into ninth grade, we had like 2 or 3 summer reading books. And I think I Spark noted one, I read one. And then the first day of English class, we had like a quiz test on one of the books.
Uh-huh.
And I provided answers for the opposite book. And I was like, none of the questions really make sense. So I answered.
Yeah.
I gave answers.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
Did you get credit?
I don't know. I think I did. I don't think she actually read the answers. But anyway.
Yeah. It's not, it's more of, reading to learn and reading to better yourself than reading, the school, they give you just fiction books, which, fiction books, if you want to read those for pleasure, you go ahead. I have nothing against that. It's just I read books for lessons, and application to real life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they've never really heard that concept through school is reading a book to actually learn something for real life.
Wait, can I learn anything from Harry Potter?
I mean, you may be able to. I've never read the Harry Potter books. So,
I haven't either.
but I think, those books are more of, fictional. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you like to read that.
Wait,
but
they're fiction?
I don't know. I've never read Harry Potter.
I'm pretty sure it's
I'm pretty
fiction.
sure that, a witch flying on a broom.
I don't know. I've seen some people doing that broom game.
Oh, I've seen them downtown.
Yeah, I think one of the colleges down here have that
Yeah.
have a Quidditch team.
Yeah. One thing that I did forget to mention too is when I was talking about building relationships with people is, when you take advice from people, the biggest thing to ask yourself when you're considering that advice is, do they have what you want in life? Because some people, they may have the right mindset and they may be just, trying to help, or some people, they may just give you bad advice in general. But, you have to look at people and ask yourself, do they have what you want in life? And if they do, then take their advice, because chances are they're probably giving you truthful advice. That'll help you get to where they're at and what you want in life. But, if they don't have what you want in life, really think about the advice that they gave you or the wisdom that they gave you, and maybe think it through. But even if they don't have what you want in life, back to building relationships, still build a relationship. I think, the people that I burned bridges with was just, they didn't have what I wanted. So I kind of burned the bridge where, looking back, I'm like, I don't have to take, what everyone says as the truth,
right.
or take their advice, but, you don't burn the bridge just because of that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But then going back to reading books, the books that I like to read are just, some business books and then a lot of personal development, like John C. Maxwell, which thank you for, introducing me to him with your book, Today Matters. This is a good one, everyone.
Indeed.
I love that book.
We need to be sponsored by him.
Yeah, we did. John, shout out to you. And then, I'm about 100 pages into the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Okay. Nice.
And then also like listening to audiobooks, like, some people may disagree with what I'm about to say, but like I'm buying those little Apple AirPods so I can listen to books all day long in school. I mean, here's the thing.
Well, I'm not your teacher, so it doesn't matter necessarily to me.
I can just sit there like this, and but I'm not listening to music. I can get through a 300-page book in 3 days, just because when you listen to 7 hours straight, you may miss some parts in the book because you're in school and you're doing stuff and walking around in in a different environment that's not so secluded.
Right.
But you still you learn a lot from that. Like Atlas Shrugged, I calculated that I can get through that in about 10 days at school.
Right. Book by Ayn Rand, who we were talking about in the first half.
Yeah, which is 13 pages long. Or
1,300, yeah. 13. She really packs it in there.
It takes 10 days to get a 13-page book through Audible. No, 1,300 pages.
We have a slow processing speed.
That's
about my reading level right there.
Yeah, that's an inside joke between us. The slow
processing speed.
There's a whole story behind that, but yeah, I can get through that book in about 10 days, which is pretty good.
Yeah, 1,300 pages.
That's one thing that'll help me get through this school year is just listening to books all day long. That's probably my biggest advice to people.
Yeah.
Find a mentor, find a brother, and then find someone that you can pass on your knowledge to, because a lot of your learning comes in action and comes in teaching others. And I'm thankful to have you as a brother and a mentor to me.
Yeah.
You've taught me a lot and helped me through a lot, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. No, the pleasure's all mine. Even when you're a knucklehead sometimes.
Hey, you're a knucklehead back to me. Let me just say
we're all knuckleheads.
It's a good thing that we didn't room together at camp.
We're all knuckleheads. Oh, it definitely is. That's okay.
Oh, man.
No, we would have had fun anyway.
Yeah, we would have. We would have butt heads a lot.
We would have figured it out.
I probably would have just slept in my mom's car the whole time.
Right. Yeah, she had driven out there.
I did bring a hammock in case I needed to sleep outside.
Let's be honest, it was probably nicer anywhere other than the rooms for you to sleep.
Yeah.
You could have slept in your mom's car. It probably would have been nicer, more quiet.
I wanted to bring my car up so I could fold down the back seats and put my air mattress back there, but my mom was like, "No, I want my car. I haven't seen my car in like so long." And I'm like, "Okay." I don't mind driving a Beamer up to summer camp.
Yeah. But you mentioned some influences, and you've mentioned books. Mm-hmm. What would you say would be some of the top influences that have shaped kind of where you are today?
I think the most obvious ones are my family.
Yeah.
My mom and my dad have always been supportive of me. Literally, when I started playing piano, I just went up to them one day and was like, "Hey, I want to take piano lessons," and they never shot me down. They said, "Okay, when do you want to start?" And then we got us a piano. They got me a piano, and they also got me about a year ago a nice baby grand Yamaha, which I love to play because when I first started, it was a good starter piano, but it wasn't anything good. It was an old beat up piano. And then definitely my brother and my sister. Our family, we've been through a lot, and they've helped. We've all helped each other really a lot to grow and to better ourselves. I would say, you're just as much as family as they are to me too. You've helped me a lot, in just the past 3-4 years that we've known each other. I would say in the past year, kind of being around more of the business side of things, Frank Acoin, Teresa Acoin, those are two great mentors of mine that are here in Charleston.
Who are part of the legal
business, yeah. Right. And then also John Gardner and Elizabeth Gardner, those are also two other big mentors.
The legal business. Okay.
Yeah, those are definitely my biggest business mentors right now. trying to think. I know there's so many other people who, you know, I need to give credit for. You know, and I could go on and on about that, but
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I would say that those are my top people right now.
Sure. And then
you brought, and then also, of course, I'll say Andy Gill. You know, he's, I mean, he moved away a little while ago, but
he was the youth leader at James Allen campus for some odd years.
He really, you know, he came in at a time where, you know, our family was going through stuff. He got me into the James Allen small group, and, you know, he helped build my foundation, in faith, you know, and then of course the other small group leaders, including you, when you were there, Robbie Madison, and Carissa, they've done a great job, and Robbie's wife, Biff, I think that's her.
Yeah.
Biff.
I think her official name's Elizabeth, but she goes by Biff.
Her official name is Elizabeth.
Right.
Shout out to Elizabeth Biff.
All right, there you go. We're just racking it up here.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely my spiritual leaders are, you know, you, Robbie, and the people in the small group, definitely, you know, including the students in the small group.
Yeah.
Which there's like 30 of them, so I can't name all of them.
Right.
Unless you want me to.
I think you've given enough shout outs. You've probably already named most of them anyway.
Yeah, I've named a good bit of them.
Right. And then obviously you read a lot, and you've already mentioned several books that have impacted you, and you brought, you know, do you want to just breeze through the titles of a few of the books that you brought?
Well, I brought this one.
I'm still trying to figure out why you brought like 8 books for a 60-minute podcast. I should have just given you the one mic, and I should have gone to eat a sandwich.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have just gone to eat a sandwich.
I mean, there's so much knowledge. You don't know what to choose from, you know? There's just so much wisdom. But this is the one that you got me. It's Today Matters.
Today Matters.
I really like that. I have, I think, like 20 pages of notes on that one.
Yep.
This is just my journal. I carry it wherever I go, no matter what.
And so what, and in a nutshell, what do you do with your journal? What does that look like?
All right. So in the front, like, you have your goals and affirmations that you write out. That's my affirmations, kind of like your goals, and you break down your goals and like where you want to be, what you want to do, how do you want to achieve it. And then here it's like,
that thing looks cool, man. That's like already prefabricated.
Oh yeah,
like
it's nice. It's called the
templates.
Action Day Planner.
The Action Day
anyone
Planner.
Wants to get it, I think it's like $30 from Amazon. Shout out to
we need to get sponsored by these people.
Let me also shout out a couple more.
Go ahead. Go. Well, all right. Go for it.
A couple more business. Nick Odom. I knew I was forgetting these guys too. Nick Odom, Justin Peterson. Those are awesome mentors that are in the business. Nick Odom actually suggested this calendar. It's got like just like your regular to-do stuff, like what do you need to do. Goals. You write out your goals right there, and then you write out like if you delegate any projects to anyone, you can write that out, and then just like right here, like write out, you know, what you have going on in the week, set at specific times. So like I'm auditioning for the worship band at noon on Saturday, had dinner over here last night with y'all, that kind of thing.
Little family game night last night.
Yeah. So that's just, it's like a planner that kind of helps you wrap your goals up into that, and, you know, focus on your goals. This is my picture Bible, everyone.
Live.
It's my picture Bible.
That's what it says on the, it doesn't even, it does say the Bible, but it says live.
It says Holy Bible. This one
is that live?
I got this one when I was like 12. So yeah, but I still I like it, you know.
Good googly, that's a lot of pictures in there.
Does that look like a lot of pictures?
Oh yeah, you choose one page without pictures.
Hold on. There's one picture.
All right, we got one picture.
One picture. All right, we'll do one more page.
Oh my Lord, there's a lot of picture going on.
Okay, there's no
You
picture.
saw that next page. It was half picture.
No. This is my Bible.
So that's your, so you still use that to this day?
Yeah. I mean, it's the New Living Translation. Okay. It's not like,
it's not like a crazy,
it's not like
unknown.
This is my journal that goes along with it, which I brought in case you wanted to bring up any.
So that's your specific Bible journal, and that one's kind of a personal development.
Shout out to Rusty Graves for buying me this journal a couple years ago. And then This is the book that I'm in the middle of reading right now.
Right.
How to Win Friends and Influence People by
very well-known book.
Yeah.
Probably written, I think it was like in the 20s or something. That's an old book.
It was an old book.
It's around the 20s, I think.
I mean, it's very relevant. The information's fantastic. I mean, it's, you know, and I mean, it talks about simple concepts that are easy to do. Right. It's just people just don't do them. You know, we get in the habit of not doing some of the principles that are taught in that book. So after getting in the habit of not doing it, it's hard to break that habit. But when you can take those principles and apply them to real life, it'll help you go a long way.
Yeah.
So I would suggest reading that. And then I actually don't have the hardcover of Think and Grow Rich. I had it on my iPad. And so I listened to it on my iPad and read it on my iPad. But that's a good book. It's by Napoleon Hill.
Yep.
You know, even if you're not looking to be rich in life, if you want to be rich in anything besides money and friends and relationships with people and love or whatever, that's definitely a good book to read. Because it's not more about, it's geared towards financials, but there's so many, it's life philosophies, and so the philosophy in that book is definitely worth reading.
Yeah.
And then, I want to read Atlas Shrugged. I've heard it's a good book.
Right. Your brother's reading it right now.
Yeah. So, maybe, if you have time to read a 1,300 page book, which we all have time eventually over the course of a couple of years, you're going to have the time, but that's one that I'm about to start reading and start listening to.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm working my way through a 600 page book. I think it's 650 or so. It's a John Maxwell book. It's the 101 Leadership Collection.
I saw that laying around the other day.
Yeah, I've been on that way
because,
too long.
You cleaned up your apartment last night, but usually it's not clean.
I did. Like last minute. If you wait till the last minute, it only takes a minute. So I waited till the last minute and I vacuumed a little bit.
Don't use that saying. Don't use that saying.
Made it all spotless. If you do, just give me a quarter every time you say it.
And if you do, just use it for schoolwork, not for anything else. Because I will say, I'm not gonna lie, I procrastinate on schoolwork.
How dare you?
I'm the guy who's doing it at in the morning before school starts, or at midnight that night.
Yeah, I think I've literally even done homework during that 10-minute before class kind of thing.
Oh, I've done it during if I know a teacher is not going to collect it right away, because there's teachers that collect it right away, like with staffing.
Oh yeah, you're showing off because I can't snap. Way to show off. Oh, you're even.
I couldn't snap till a couple years ago.
Honestly, I've been practicing my snapping in my spare time. I'll just. You hear that?
Good job.
Go back 2 months.
Hey, I can't whistle. So
you can't whistle?
No. Don't make fun of me for that.
I think yeah.
So, yeah. I just can't. What were we talking about?
All right. We were just talking about the book. So, no, that's good stuff. So, as we wrap up then, this would normally be where I just say, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Well,
I'm pretty hesitant, and I think you've already named everyone you know in your life now.
Yep. I'm sorry if I forgot y'all.
You're just a thankful person. Yeah, right. You can't name everybody.
Yeah. Your dad, Eddie Taylor.
Yeah, my dad.
There we go.
You're even naming my dad.
He's taught me a lot.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff.
I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. I know there's plenty of other people.
And then your mom and dad, Joanne and Bruce.
Yep.
Root.
I've already shouted them out, but yes, they deserve another one.
Should we give the address where to find them?
At 10:30, and that's all we're gonna say. It could be East Arctic,
or is it 10:30?
It could be East Arctic. It could be East Ashley.
It could just not even be either of those two.
Yeah, it could.
Do you have do you want to be followed anywhere if anyone wants to find you at Twitter?
Follow me on the Instagram at Mike_Root, which ROOT. That's how you spell it, like a true root.
ROOT.
Yep.
Right?
Mike_Root87. That's my Instagram. Follow me. I probably won't follow you back unless I know you. Just being honest.
Fair enough. I don't even have an Instagram, so I don't care one way or another.
Or add me on Facebook. I don't really use my Twitter at all. I don't even know I still have it. Snapchat, Michael.Root8. I may not add you back.
You might add people back?
No, I usually add people back.
Yeah. On which one? What'd you just name?
Snapchat. Kyle doesn't know what Snapchat is.
I know there's pictogramming and Snap. Facebook.
We're learning you some Snapbook. Okay, we're gonna
learn me the Snapbook.
Yeah. If you have any questions, I guess just Snapchat me or Instagram me.
Snap it. All right. Is there anything else we're forgetting?
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Word.
I look forward to being on another one.
Thank you. Yeah.
That'd be fun. This is pretty fun, and I know you're going places with this, so I'm happy for you.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
You're going places.
Going places?
You're going places.
Like
this is just the beginning.
Figuratively. Or would I literally?
Well, you're going back to your desk probably to record the next one, are you?
Well, after this, we're going to lunch.
Yeah.
We got to figure out if we want a burger or what.
I can go for about anything.
We got burger, pizza, all the above.
On Dangle Island.
All right, on the Danny Island.
All right. Well, thanks again for having me on, and
do big things.
Do big things.
Think bigger.
Think bigger. Think faster, and think now. And take action now.
Take action now.
Take action now. That's what I'm going to leave you with.
Meow.
Do it now.
Meow.
Whatever it is. Just like Kyle.
Just do it.
Kyle, you weren't even supposed to have this podcast out till what, September?
Yeah, I kind of had a business plan that started in September.
But he did it now.
Just did
so
it
take that lesson to heart. He did it now. And look, it's going.
There's never an optimal time to start anything.
It's going.
All right.
All right.
That's a wrap, I suppose.
My
ears hurt.
I know. Those, after a while, I'm bleeding.
You're bleeding. You're bleeding out of the ears.
So good that I'm bleeding.
Wait, you're leaving or you're bleeding?
No, I'm bleeding.
Okay.
If you like this podcast and you're watching on YouTube, check out one of our other recent videos by simply clicking on the window on the screen. You can also easily subscribe by clicking on our snazzy icon, also on the screen. Your support will allow the show to continue to grow and become even better. Thanks, guys.